All right, everybody. So we're going to do one problem 3 different ways to show you the 3 different techniques that I might use to solve an elimination question. To try to keep the video short, I'm going to tell you in advance that the answer is already done. I've done this problem before a number of times. The answer is going to be 1, 4, or x equals 1 and y equals 4. And that will simply help us speed up the process. Now, 3 different colors I'm going to use just to shake this up a little bit. The first time I'm going to go ahead and use purple, and I'm going to use the first strategy. My first strategy is going to be looking for opposite or pairs of numbers that are the same, and unfortunately I don't see any, but I'm also going to look to see is there an easy way to get opposite pairs of numbers. And the one thing that I notice right off the bat is that 5 and 10, 5 can go into 10 twice, or 5 times 2 equals 10. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply the top number by 2, and I'm going to rewrite it just down below the second equation. So 2 times 5x is 10x, 2 times y is 2y, and 2 times 9 is 18. And now here's what I observe. I have common 10s here and here. So since I have common 10s, I'm going to subtract. 10x minus 10x is 0. Negative 7y minus 2y is going to be minus 9y, and let's take this guy here. Negative 18 minus 18 is going to be negative 36. Divide both sides by negative 9 to get y equals 1. Y equals 4. And you'll see that y equals 4 is part of my answer. I'm not going to, because of the video, I'm not going to show the second piece. The second piece would be taking the 4 and putting it into one of the 2 original blue equations. You could choose the first equation or the second equation. It's completely up to you. There's no wrong answer. But for my money, if I erase all of the work here, maybe I should leave that in. But for my money, let's put that back in. I think the first one is the easier one. You would simply put the 4 in the y spot and solve it from there. Let's keep moving though. So what I wanted you to take away from that strategy right there is that I only multiplied the first equation by 2, right? And that got me my common pair. That's what I want. Now, when I look over here at the second equation, let's try something else. Let's see if we can get a common pair in the y's. And what I observe about the y's is that one's positive, one is negative, but one of them has a 1 in front of it, and one of them has a 7. I really wish they both had a 7. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by 7. I'm going to rewrite it underneath like I did before. 35x plus 7y is 63. And now I'm going to add these 2 equations together. I'm going to take my 10x and 35x, and I'm going to add them together to get 45x. I'm going to take my my negative 7 and positive 7y's and add them together, and that gives me 0. And I'm going to go ahead and take my negative 18 and positive 63, and I'm going to go ahead and get a 63 minus 18 is 45, but 45. So we like that. And you could see that we're going to divide both sides by 45, and x will be 1. So here's the other part of the answer, right? Same strategy as before. I would take this 1 that's equal to x, and I'd put it back into one of the 2 equations. I'd probably still pick the first one because it looks easier. Now, with that in mind, let's go to the third and what some might consider the best technique. The third and last technique is going to be a cross multiplication style, which is to say, take this 10, don't even look at anything. Just take that 10 and write it here. Take this 5 and write it here. You see how we're kind of going up and left, down and left? That's kind of the cross multiplication piece. And then just immediately multiply both equations by those numbers. Now we might get some pretty big numbers, but this is a foolproof way to do the problem. So I'm going to rewrite these problems. 10 times 5x, 10 times y, 10 times 9. Now for the second one, 5 times 10x. And look at those pairs of 50x's. That's beautiful. 5 times negative 7 and 5 times negative 18. All right. Since we have common terms here and here, and they're the same, we're going to go ahead and subtract them. So 50x minus 50x is 0x. That goes away. 10 minus, watch this, 10 minus negative. Minus negative is plus. So 10 plus 35y is 45y. That sounds familiar. And using that probably minus negative thing again, 90 minus negative 90. Minus negative is plus. So 90 plus 90 is 180. We divide both sides by 45. Use a calculator if you need to. And y equals 4. And that's an answer we've already seen. So 3 different techniques. Try to find a pair that you might make equal on the x's. Try to find a pair that you can make equal on the y's. Or if you don't want to bother with trying to look at the x's or the y's, just use the cross multiplication technique.